Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this exciting episode of King Dolphin TV, episode 375. Only 25 episodes to go before we hit 400. Wow. I can't wait. This is going to be a great show, and this is going to be a great run till 400. So tonight we're going to do more Fantastic Four interview reviews. We're going to do, like Legatus Legionise says, The Infant Terrible, an extraterrestrial wreaks havoc in New York City until. And then FF25, the Hulk versus the Thing. Hulk understands that Rick Jones deserted him for the Avengers. He comes back to New York to get his revenge on the Avengers, but the FF are there to stop him. Awesome. So we're going to do that. But before we get going, let us if you like what we're doing here, if you like these reviews, if you love all the other stuff we do on King Dolphin TV, just because Radio King Dolphin TV, and all the other shenanigans, the interviews especially. If you love the interviews, please like and subscribe and watch the videos. And if you are so inclined, please put some ducats in the bucket to help out the channel. As FKHC says, make sure Dr. Raymond, Dr. Raymond Boom What the? That? What the? Detonation was a little late, and I'm looking, and I am seeing. Looks like Gumby may have decided to strike. Sandra, do you see that it's going?
You're talking, I can see you.
Can you hear me talk? Guys, can you hear me talk? Because I noticed I noticed the little King Dolphin logo on the top isn't going. Okay, good. All right, so Dr. Raymond, you know what, doesn't send Snorty and Trike to collect his money. Pay in either super chats, super stickers, or the tip link here. And I'll put the tip link up in the thing. I was just curious because I did not see the little logo. So please consider helping out the channel. Put some ducats in the bucket, either through the tip stream or by doing a super chat. I would appreciate it. It will keep the channel going and the lights on here. Okay. Before we get going here, I will Snort says, "Stop making meet their bangs." Okay. So let me welcome. Right now, it's just the Lifeguard Corps, but that's okay. We've got our producer, Sandra. This is King Dolphin TV, a Sandra Feliciano production in color and stereo where available. We got Fez Forever. How you doing, buddy? We got the great Legatus Legionii. And we have got the hardest working bear on the internet here. And let's do this. And I got a surprise for everybody in light of the show tonight. Snortapoopas! Chewbur! .scream. Hashtag roar. Wow, that is cool. Snortapoopas is the thing. Where'd it go? There it is. There's, hey, Snort, why don't you do It's Clobbering Time for us? He is the thing bear. Yeah, there he is. Oh, what a handsome bear. What a handsome bear. Come on, Snort. Say it's clobbering time. Have a good show. All right, have a good show. All right. Yes, courtesy of Grok, and in honor of the Fantastic Four interview reviews, I decided to make turn Snortapoopas into the thing. He says, and squeezing and hugging. Oh, yeah. If you thought Snort could destroy you with a hug now, take a look at him now with all those rocky. Fez says, we got so much fieldstone up here, I wonder if I could. Okay. Rockapoopas. All right. So we shall get going here. We'll put this handsome bear down, or put the handsome bear away. And let's go. Let's get going with the episode, with the reviews. Hey, Clobby's pet bear. Hail, Clobby. R.I.P. Clobby. Clobby's pet bear. Yeah. All right. So we are going to get started for this episode 24. All right. With a cool Amish style beard. Yeah, that's how it came out. I tried to get the bear to say it's clobbering time, but it wouldn't put it in a good spot that wasn't obscuring him. So I'll keep looking into it. All right. So without further ado, let's go to Fantastic Four issue 24 called, it says, "Never have you read a tale, never have you seen a creature remotely like the infant terrible." A classic a book-length classic of the incredible. Oh, and then you've got the first ad is now you can solve tough math problems like this. In just hours, you can turn into a math wizard, even though you know little about arithmetic. Surprise your friends with your easy math ability. Enjoy job security and advancement, a better job, increase your self-confidence and prestige, all through amazing new easy math. All right. So, The Fabulous Fantastic Four and the Mystery of the Infant Terrible. Strange name for a comic magazine story, not nearly as strange as the incredible super adventure, which is now about to unfold through your eyes. It starts at the Baxter Building, where life photographers are conducting an interview for a feature entitled "The Most Fantastic Foursome of All Time." Lovingly written by Stan Lee, tenderly drawn by Jack Kirby, heroically inked by G.O. Bell, and neatly lettered by S. Rosen. Okay, so Reed did a stretching shape-shifting for photographs. And Johnny's over there wanting to get his picture taken, and they said they've already gotten enough from him, and they want to concentrate on Sue. Ben is trying to get in there, saying, "Guys think that's something. Wait till you see what I can do. And be sure to spell my name right. My frantic fans are awful sensitive about things like that." Oh, bashful Ben. Okay, and Johnny's saying his flames are photogenic. And Ben's saying, hurry up with Sue to get some pictures of me. And this photographer says, "If I snap you without a finger, I might crack my lens." And they are all just agog over Sue. They say, "Miss Storm, has anyone told you you're beautiful?" And Sue says, "Once or twice, boys, and why don't you call me Sue?" And they're all wanting to interview. So the one guy says, would you show us how you turn invisible? Although it's a shame to hide any of you, even for a little while. So she turns her lower part invisible, and then she said now she makes her legs visible, and they're swooning over her legs. So Ben is trying to squeeze phone books and trying to get photos, but everybody is looking at Sue. And then all of a sudden, somebody says, "I've been looking all over for you." There's an event taking place at Times Square, and they're missing it, so they run off. Ben is grumpy because no one took pictures of him. And Ben says, "Hey, wait, don't you want to take any more pictures of me? Can't I sell you an autograph or two?" And he says, "Not now, pal. If you think you guys are fantastic, you should see what's going on at Times Square." So Ben is upset that the phone books are now a block, but Reed's saying, "Oh, let's take a look. That's what's going on." So they get into the fantastic car, and they're all wondering. Reed's saying, level off, Johnny, bear down on your right stabilizer. Johnny's saying, hey, I thought you were flying. Sue's saying, I'm not guiding it. And then Ben is saying, your boy Benjamin is on the job as usual. And then suddenly they fly into a milk bottle. And they're all confused as where this bottle came from. Ben says, oh, what's the diff? You'll end up blaming it on me anyway. The fantastic car is heading back home, and the bottle is shut. Johnny thinks that he can burn the way out. Reed thinks that it's Sue thinks it's doom. Reed is just saying this doesn't make any sense. So Johnny melts their way out. And Reed says anybody trying to trap us would have made allowances for the flame, so the enemy doesn't know them. And then they see the menace. Reed says this might be the most difficult fight we'll ever face. And there's a maze. Everybody is caught in a maze. And then there is a big top heading toward the crowd. Johnny uses a fireball, and the top blows up. But then there's a robot that suddenly appears. And then the thing breaks out of the maze. And he's charging in, and Sue's saying, hey, Reed hasn't figured this out yet. So he hits the robot. And then it turns to 2. And then he hits Ben's. Johnny says, looks like you're wasting time, big buddy. Not only didn't you hurt that gizmo, now there's 2 of them. So Ben is saying, don't you have enough sense to lay down when you're clobbered? So he hits him again. And now more appear. And he's saying, are you guys trying to embarrass me or something? And then all of a sudden, there's an army of robots. They just march past Ben. They don't have any expression. Reed just comes up with a hunch. He asked the chief to order every siren in the city to start wailing before they fill up the city. And the sirens go off. Suddenly, from every part of the great metropolis, the ear-shattering wail of countless sirens fills the air in an ever-increasing crescendo. And you can draw the first day. No lessons, no talent. Even if you can't draw a straight line, you can draw your family. You can draw your friends. You can draw a girl in a bikini like an artist, even if you can't draw a straight line. Free no money, free 10-day trial coupon. All right, let's see. Let's go to hello, Swift -1. How you doing? And Snort says, I sometimes wish my bottom was invisible. In the valley of the jolly ho 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 green robot. Yep. All right. That says, nice model. Okay. And hello, Pudgy. Hello, Pudgy Hedgehog. All right. So we got Pudgy, and we have We've got Switch -1. Welcome. All right. And hello, Cobalt in the background. Okay. The infant Torbo. Is this the story of Snorty as a wee little cub? And he says, "Impossible. I never did learn how to multiply." All right. Oh, that ad for drawing, he's using the photo projector. I had a pro model of one of those. They actually work great. Oh, okay. All right. So let us continue. So does it work? It works. They disappear. And Reed guessed, and he suspected something caused them to appear, and hoping that the sound would make the culprit lose control. And then Sue sees the creature. She says, "Ben, Johnny, look, that creature is making his way through the crowd." And there is the creature. Everybody's saying, "Is it a robot?" No, it's alive. It's alive. It shot a ray from its antenna to hit the lamppost, and it turns into a plant with berries. And then he makes a faucet appear in the brick wall, pouring soda. Ben wants to grab the creature, but Reed doesn't think it's meaning any harm, so he wants to study it. So Sue turns invisible, and he's just sipping soda. Just sipping an ice cream soda, completely oblivious to everyone. But then the press corps starts flashing flash bulbs in broad daylight. How does that happen? So the creature is startled, and he lifts them up in the air. So he's thinking that this creature is more powerful than the Molecule Man. So she turns invisible because she's shocked. I love what they say here. So shocked is Sue Storm by what she witnessed that the blonde beauty temporarily forgets herself and loses control of her ability. So she tries to grab him, but he causes meteors to start heading to Earth. So things are getting worse. And there are some that that reach where Sue is at, but Mr. Fantastic saves her. And Reed says, "Don't panic. The worst is over now." And she says, "Oh, Reed, they came so close to hitting you." And one is coming toward the thing, but the Human Torch blasts it. Everybody vacated, and Sue's asking, "What could he be?" And then Reed says, "I don't know, Sue dear. His actions were as irrational as an infant's." And then he realizes, an infant, that's the answer. It has to be. Creating giant soldiers, desire for sweet berries, ice cream, sodas. They're all part of a behavior pattern of an infant, even his failure to communicate. So unfortunately, the authorities know what's going on, but then the news starts going on about the infant. And who should see a mobster? Although the strange creature is now considered to be too young to understand his own actions, this makes him more dangerous than ever. The public is warned to stay out of his way, not to antagonize him. And the mobster goes, I think I'll call a few of the boys. That's right, get the boys together. Tell them Big Joe has an idea. That nutty freak with the magic powers is just what the doctor ordered. So they, in an Aston Martin DB4, man, a James Bond vehicle, speeds through the city streets. They see the creature, and he starts looking at the people, and they all run. He just I guess he's trying to communicate with them, but they all run. And then the three mobsters offer him candy, and one guy says, looks like the big man knows what he's talking about. Look for him reaching for the candy, and he's even trying to smile. And they say, nothing in the book says that you can't nab a character who ain't human. So they drive away. Meanwhile, at the Baxter building, Reed says the French have an expression called enfant terrible. It means a child who does dreadful things. But this child is so powerful, anything he does could cause a catastrophe. And Ben says, I never thought the old FF would find themselves up against a terrible infant, but that's the way the mop flops. So Reed is saying, we don't know anything about him, where did he come from, and what's the extent of his powers. So Sue's over there saying, what a terrible infant. What a strange problem for us to solve. And Sue's saying, or Reed is saying, the damage he could unwittingly cause could be nasty. Suppose he decided to obliterate an entire city. Or if he wanted to reduce everything on Earth to toy size. Or the moon, the planets. This creature could be all terrible. In fact, he says the most attractive bauble is dangling in front of his eyes right now. If he ever decides to reach for it, the solar system is doomed. And Sue's, what do you mean? The sun. Look at Johnny's face. That is the worst drawing of any human I've ever seen. That's a bad drawing of Johnny. So Reed, Johnny, and Sue head out to stop him. Or Sue, Johnny, and Ben are out to stop him. Reed's just sitting there. And look at this. Are you proud of your paycheck? You could be if you mastered auto mechanics, a well-paid trade. You can get 15 kits of tools and testing equipment. Mechanics tools, including a socket wrench, let's see, what else do you get? You can get a socket wrench, a torch wrench, a volt tester, a cam angle tachometer, vacuum gauge, a starter current indicator, a battery cell tester, and a power timing light. Many earn cash in spare time. Become a mechanical auto mechanic. Okay. And then they turn around and Reed is not going anywhere. And Reed says, "You search for him. I got some more thinking to do." And Ben grabs his arm. "What do you think we are? A bunch of stooges? If we work, you work, buddy boy." And Reed says, "This is no time for hijinks. I give the orders here. Do as I say, and I mean now." And he wants to work on an experiment. And Ben says, "You're just too chicken to face that creepy character again. You know he's more powerful than we are." And Sue is chastising Ben. And he's over there. Ben is he's saying, "Gives me a pain the way he's always tossing that. I'm the boss." Jazz at this. And then just a few blocks, an armored car is lifted in the air. And a beam is lifting it. And then Big Joe and his gang see the car coming over with the kid. And he said, "I knew he'd understand what I wanted if I drew simple pictures for him. Now, pick up the money, don't miss any of it, or else." And they're gathering up the money. One guy's saying, "If I picked up a few C notes, who'd know?" And then all of a sudden, one bag turns into a pig. And then the others sprout wings and fly away. And then mud. And then he's saying, Big Joe is reminding him he's got the brains of a baby. So he thinks he's being funny. So he wants to haul it. And he just thought of a way to make it a bigger haul. And he asked the kid to make the ring bigger. And the creature is understanding. Next you know, the ring is changed to a rather large diamond. But then it changed into an egg where a bird comes out. He's over there threatening the kid, saying, "Change the eggs back into a diamond or it's curtains." And then the Fantastic Three come over and they start shooting. Johnny heads over and he's flying around. They can't aim on him, and the bullets melt. And he holds them at bay while you're getting 11,000 plus for a coin. And there is the Hypno coin where you can hypnotize somebody. Maybe you can all make them think that they're Snortopoopus. Okay. Hello, Agent Pepsi 1. Agent Pepsi 1. Agent Pepsi 1. They've given her a number and taken away her name. Good to see you, darling. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Hello, FKHC 2005. How you doing? Okay, let's see. No, I started at the normal time, 6. That was my mistake. Agent Pepsi 1 says, hail, hail. Hail to Agent Pepsi 1. Okay. Oh, shoot. Pun I missed earlier. Rock Me Snorter Poopus from Falco. Gotta break out the keyboard now. Okay. Hypno coins are okay, but Hypno Toads taste better. I'll take your word for it, Snort. All right, back to the show. So Johnny has held him off. And here comes Ben. And then he has his fun with the criminals, and he bends the rifle so that the barrel's pointing at him, and then he ties him to a tree, and the tree bends away. He says, "You can't leave us here. How are we going to get down? I'm glad you're asked. It'll give me something to think about if I ever get bored." And then Big Joe attempts an escape. And he's driving away. But then Sue gets him in a force field, and Ben puts him in tires. Big Joe says, "I'll pay you $1,000 to let me go. How about it?" And Ben says, "You creep, I ought to clobber you for trying to insult my integrity. Money can't tempt me. But if you want to raise the ante a little, how about 5, 10? Say something." Ben says, "I'm laughing too hard." Johnny heat seals him, and so he is fully trapped under the tires. And Sue's saying he doesn't know how lucky he is that we arrived when we did. If he tried to harm the creature, there's no telling what might have happened. And he is trying to hide by trees. And Sue's trying, "Don't frighten him." And he's pretty... Johnny says, "Too late for that now, sis. Judging by his expression, Big Joe and his boys made him hate and distrust the whole human race." And so, yes, he looks angry, and then he shoots energy from the antennas. And then a creature appears, a rock man. So Ben's getting ready to brawl with the rock person, the rock monster. And Reed is working on a transmitter. Meanwhile, what of the leader of the fabulous FF? Back at his headquarters lab, we find Reed Richards desperately operating the most powerful ultrasonic radio transmitter on Earth. So he's shooting radio signals into deeper space, and he hopes that they'll be received before it's too late. And then he sees a spaceship, and patiently, tirelessly, the master of science remains in his lab, probing the heavens with his ultra-powerful electron telescope, second only in viewing power to the mighty lens atop Mount Palomar. And then he sees a spaceship. And the radio beams are leading the spaceship to Earth. And Ben is brawling with the rock creature, and then Johnny burns a swath and is telling Ben to lead the creature there. And then the creature falls into the pit. Ben says, "You did it, Torture Boy. It just goes to show you nobody is a complete failure all the time." And then he's gone and made a fireproof covering over them. And they're trying to bust out before they lose their air. So Johnny tries to fly, and it follows Johnny. And Ben can't smash it, and Sue can't use her force field. Sue says, if only Reed were here, if only he'd come with us. Johnny says, let's prove for once we don't need him to wet nurse him. And Ben says, you're whistling in the dark, Sonny. The way things look, we might as well toss away our Social Security cards. We won't be along to collect. And then the infant Terrible makes a tornado and heads back to New York. And he lands on top of a building. And he is very, very angry. And then a helicopter comes near. And they're trying to trap him. They don't think it's going to work, but they want to try something. And there's grit and stamps and shot by mail. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. All right. Hey, Raymond, Sandra, and Trek. With or without pineapple. Oh, Agent Pepsi won. I'm sorry to hear that. The bugs have been attacking you. Let's see. Snort says, no pineapples on toads or pizzas. Yep. I'll pay you the usual amount to let me go. Okay, will do. A crispy $1 bill. Changes hand. Okay. The Thunderbolts have shown up. Okay. All right. Sounds like the germ reactors cooked up something. Please put an AP1 out there to send support for our dear Agent Pepsi 1. Okay. Let us continue. The creature sees the helicopter and turns it into dust. They escape. And now he's getting mad and starts blasting energy everywhere, panicking the pedestrians. Also, he's thinking anything they have before him could be weapons. So packages, parcels, handbags, hats are rising into the air. And then, meanwhile, there's one person who's helplessly trapped in it, and it's Alicia. She's wondering, why is everybody running? If I can only see. She'd been on her way to the FF to visit Ben, but no one takes notice of her. One, that she's not going anywhere, and two, she's blind. She says, tell me, please, somebody, what's happening? Ben, where are you? I need you. Okay, you could body build the National Observer, get stamps. And and then she falls to the pavement, unconscious, with her last words saying Ben. But Reed looks in the air and sees the speck that's growing larger, and there's the spaceship. He stretches and to get their attention, and Reed is wondering, did he save the Earth or did he doom it? The baby is still doing an attack. He turns clouds into solid objects that fall to the ground, causing even further problems. And then the kid sees the sun. And then he's getting ready to use his powers to the sun. But before it can do that, another strange figure appears and yells at the kid, "Stop, you must do no more. Come with me." And then all of a sudden, the Ben, Johnny, and Sue are released. And then they get into the fantastic car. And then he sees Alicia. She's unconscious. A car is driving with no driver. And they try to beat that car. Editor's note: due to its highly sophisticated control system, the Fantastic Car can be moved by any of its 4 riders in any of the 4 sections. So Ben rescues her just in time. And Sue's asking why the street's empty. Alicia says it was grateful. The crowds, the fear, the confusion, something unearthly must have terrorized them. Ben, all he could say is he almost lost her. They see the spaceship over the Baxter building, and Ben says it's what he does. Sue says, "Ben, Johnny, Reed is there alone. He may be in danger." And Ben says, "That's what he deserves for deserting us, not helping Alicia." And Johnny says, "Knock it off. You don't mean it." And Ben is looking and saying, he's just standing there looking at something. Sue asks if everything's okay. Reed says, yes, everything's okay. He knew that if it was an alien infant, he might have strayed from his parents, and if they knew where he was, they'd come for him. If he delayed another few seconds, he'd have tampered with the sun and obliterating the solar system. So he's seeing evidence of the child's power. I knew he must belong to a race so advanced that they can use the power of thought to accomplish whatever they desire. So they must think the humans are primitive. But Reed said, when you contacted them, how'd you know they'd be peaceful? They might just have polished us off just for kicks. Reed said, that was a gamble. I always thought that evil and ignorance go hand in hand. With knowledge comes love, respect for others. I gambled it would be so for them. He was just a frightened, lost child, but he's going home now to where he belongs, somewhere out there among the stars. Ben says, quit it before I start bawling. And Reed finally gets the last word. It's time anytime any of us gets too vain, too conceited because of our own power, let's remember the infant terrible, the innocent waif from space who might have unwittingly destroyed us all. And that is the end of issue 24. There's the Dynaflex guy, Mike Marvel. And you can get shoes. Okay, so that is the end of issue 24. Okay. Let's see. Oh, people sick at Stevens' work. 10% of the pilots have called off sick. Oh, no. Scheduling is having a hard time finding people. No. Yeah, that's not good when 10% of the pilots are out. That causes crew scheduling to go bananas. Time for dinner, Trelane. Snort says, none of those shoes will fit my paws. All right. All right. Okay, so now, has anybody else? Come on. Okay. All right, here we go. Next episode, or next issue. Issue 25. Issue number 25. It is a Marvel Super Spectacular. This is the big one. The Incredible Hulk versus the Thing. The battle of the century. The battle of the century. The Hulk versus the Thing. Our pulse-pounding double-length tale begins in the FF where we find Reed trying to give Ben something. Johnny saying, step aside, Reed. I'll get it for you. Ben, come back. Stop acting like a kid. Let me explain. And Sue's saying it's between Ben and Reed. And Ben is ready to clobber Reed. Sensational story by Stan Lee. Astonishing art by Jack Kirby. Incredible inking by G. Bell. And let's see. And lighthearted lettering by S. Rosen. Okay, you take care, John. Have a great night, all. Heading out to Elk Mountain to try to watch the sunset. See y'all Saturday. Yep, see you Saturday. Take care, Fez. All right. So, Ben looks scared in that picture. And he's saying, he's thinking that it may change back to Ben Grimm permanently. And the Thing says, no, he's not going to do it. How many times have I got to tell you I won't do it? Sue says, think what Reed is doing for you, Ben. If you stop being the Thing, we'll lose 1/4 of our strength, and he still wants you to drink it. And wonders why this Thing is so stubborn. And Ben's saying, stop bugging me. And Ben just slaps it, saying, I wasn't kidding. And Lisa loves me this way. How do I know how she'll feel about me if I become just plain Ben Grimm? And Reed says, you mule-headed nitwit. It's not your ridiculous appearance she loves, it's you. Although I can't see why. Look at that Reed face. That Reed mad face. And And Ben is just saying, you're not butting into my personal life. And Ben is saying, if you find a formula that will let me change back and forth from Ben Grimm to the Thing at will, I'll drink it. But I don't want to give up being the Thing. And here comes Alicia. And she's bringing a newspaper. And she wanted somebody to read the newspaper and read saying, we just heard it over the radio. And Ben is saying, go polish a test tube. And Sue's saying, I'll read it. It's all about the disappearance of the Hulk and that Captain America took his place in the Avengers. And the bulletin says, Avengers return to U.S. after seek Hulk here after epic battle overseas. Hulk vanishes as Captain America replaces him in ranks of the Avengers. And Sue's saying the combined might of the Avengers couldn't stop the Hulk. And now, where is the Hulk? And how is it going to affect the Fantastic Four? So here we are in New Mexico, and a truck is stopping because of a boulder in the middle of the road. And they're trying to figure out how to move it. And there's the Hulk busting it down. And he says, let me ride in your truck and I'll let you live. And they decide they're going to do that. And he pulls out all the cargo and gets inside. And one driver says, what do we do now if we go to a roadblock? And the other guy says, well, worry about it later. Just drive like a live bomb, like you got a live atom bomb in there, because we practically do. And in the truck, he's starting to change. Starting to change back to Banner. And Banner, Bob Banner. Where did Bob Banner come from? Can't stop myself. Too late. I'm becoming Bob Banner again. My limitless strength is leaving me. And the police are stopping vehicles, and then the guy, Banner, runs away. And then he goes through the underground shelter, and he's tired, and he's wondering why he can't control the changes. And he changes back. And he's thinking the Hulk is the master, the dominant one. No one is strong as the Hulk. So he sees the underground cave after jumping. And then the Avengers follow the trail of the Hulk, and they see all the damage from the cargo. And they try to get into the helicopter. And Rick says he must be heading for a secret underground lab. Captain America says you make him sound like a scientist. And Rick says, I can't tell you more. Oof. There's a trike toot. I don't know where he is, but I've just been tooted. And in the laboratory, Hulk is saying, I hate Banner. Never want him to change back to him again. and he's just trashing the laboratory. And he is destroying everything. And then he sees a newspaper clipping that says the Avengers replaced him with Captain America. So he's saying, that's why Rick isn't here. He deserted me. No one does that to the Hulk. So he's going back to New York to destroy the Avengers. And the Avengers helicopter goes by. How the heck can a helicopter go from the sea to the New Mexico desert and think they're going to make it to New York? So the next day, he gets to New York. And there's the model where you can draw her. And there's another model down in the corner. Okay. Let's see. Agent Pepsi 1 says, the combined might of the Fantastic Four, the Avengers, and Mickey and Minnie Mouse is insignificant in comparison to the dark side of the Force. And Snort says, Snuffles. Power flows from the end of a blaster weapon. Emperor Palpatine. No, I'm here. Everybody seems to hear. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, he rebooted. None of the models I had as a cub look like here. All right, let's get back into it. Okay. So Reed collapsed in his laboratory, and Ben is carrying him, and Ben takes him to a bed, and Reed is not listening. Reed can't hear him, and Ben's saying, "Don't scare us." So they get into the fantastic car, and he sees the Hulk doing a rampage. So Johnny flames on and starts using molten rocks, and it doesn't work. No, it's no good. His skin is so strong, he doesn't even seem to feel the heat, and he sees me. He's grabbing a lamppost, and trying to hit him. So Johnny melts it. But the Hulk creates a shockwave that knocks the torch out. And the Hulk grabs him and sees Johnny as his flame is out. So but still, he's not going after the kid. He wants the Avengers, so he's still going after the Avengers. And the police department is evacuating the police evacuating the people, and and then there's a broadcast. Attention, attention. This is the commissioner. Do not panic. Do not panic. The entire Midtown section has been evacuated. The police have the area cordoned off. The Fantastic Four are now being summoned. Do not panic. Ben saying, Reed's sick. He needs us. Sue's saying, if only the doctor would get there. Reed is saying, go. So they are... Reed's telling them to go. The condition, they heard that Johnny was knocked out, and Reed is just telling them go. And he's telling them, and he's saying one thing more: be careful, Ben. We know the extent of your strength, but the Hulk's has never been measured. I'm afraid. He's far stronger than you. You'll need your wits. Don't let him grab you. And telling Sue, be invisible, and tells her that he loves her. They're already wanting to use atomic weapons, which will really work because he is a living gamma bomb anyway. And Sue's telling him, get a doctor for Reed. And Johnny's trying to flame on, but it's not working. And Ben's trying to use his force field. Ben says, no, it won't hold. Wait, come back. And he's getting ready to toss Johnny. And Sue protects him. Sue protects him with a force field. He says, Sue, you don't realize his strength. Sue says, it doesn't matter, Johnny. I can protect you by throwing a force field screen around you until you can flame on again. You're helpless. And Ben's saying, let me at him. Let me at him. And he's trying to smash the force field. Sue's trying to hold it. And then he jumps in the air to break through the shield. And it's affecting Sue's ability to create the force field. And she fainted. And the thing tells the soldier to take care of Sue, and then he goes and they confront. Remember, they fought before in FF12. Finally, as the Hulk returns to Earth with his helpless prisoner, the two Titans confront each other, heralding the start of one of the greatest hand-to-hand battles in recorded history. So Ben is saying, you remember me, huh? Well, this time I'm going to make sure you never forget me. And the Hulk says, you mean nothing to me. It's the Avengers I want to destroy. But if I have to smash you first, then I'll smash you. But then Ben says, great speech. Now put your money where your mouth is. And they start hitting each other. Hulk says, you're just a muscular freak. I'm the Hulk. And Ben says, I remember those words, Playmate. They'll look great carved on your headstone. There's the mechanic ad. Though smaller, the thing is more agile, faster moving than the lumbering Hulk. So he lands the first blow. A thunderous haymaker which sends his foe crashing through an abandoned warehouse wall. So Ben gets the first swipe. The Hulk shrugs it off and comes in saying, it's my turn. Ben is thinking his best bet is to tire him out. He's saying, aren't you embarrassed to go around with that antisocial attitude all the time? So he is going to do the duck and roll. And Hulk is saying, I'll get you sooner or later. You can't hide from me behind an empty bus. And Ben is saying, I might clobber you so hard and spoil those handsome features. So he tears the bus apart and throws him at Ben. And Ben's saying, nice try, kiddo, but a whitey Ford you'll never be. All you're doing is causing a draft. So he says, I feel sorry for you, Hulk, because you made me mad. Me, who's never been known to lose his temper before. But the Hulk grabs him. And he says, where's your wisecracks now? Your insulting remarks. Where's this strength? And he says, and Ben's trying to laugh him up, but then the Hulk leaps and tosses Ben into the air. But Ben was able to grab the building and saying, this crumb is not going to be easy to clobber as I thought. So now he starts shaking the building. And he jumps off before the building wrecks. And then he comes down to attack the Hulk. But then the Hulk steps back and catches the thing and drives him into the ground. He says, I'll drop you in this manhole, and if it's too tight a fit, I'll just force you in like this. But he gave Ben the ability to grab some electrical cables. And there you've got the coins and the Hypno coin. All right. Let's see. Anything else out there? All right. Okay. Okay. Yeah, drink Gatorade. Drink Gatorade, Agent Pepsi One. And welcome back, FKHC. Black Sabbath from 1980. Dio on vocals, huh? Let's see. Ooh, meatball subs. We had leftover pizza. Okay. The closest firehouse is in Madison, 50 miles away. I love their subs and their hot sauce bar. Tim says, Agent Pepsi One, drink a bottle of whiskey. That'll clear it out. Okay. And back we go. What about a Sonic? Are you near a Sonic? Sonics are good. All right, back to the story. So Ben reaches for electrical cables. And he forces the Hulk to zap him. To zap him with electricity. The news says he's taken enough voltage to light up Times Square, but only slowed him down a minute. Reed's saying, I got to help Ben, but he can't beat the Hulk alone. He's going about it all wrong. The Hulk is too strong. He's got to outsmart him. Oh, too weak. He can't make it. Reed's saying, I must. He needs me. Can't quit now. He's going to the window, looking for some air to give him some strength. And then he's going to stretch to cause a diversion. But then he passes out. And there, high above the scene of battle, his body racked with fever, the valiant Mr. Fantastic lapses into a hopeless coma, his iron will no match for the disease that has claimed him. And Ben comes out and sees the Hulk getting up too. You thought a few electric wires could stop me. You wasted the few precious seconds I allowed you. You won't get a chance like that again. And, at that moment, a scant 2 blocks away, a few determined onlookers break through the barricade and locate a medium-sized truck. She's in gear. Back her down the hill. Hurry. Thing's going to need this interruption. We don't mind needling him, but we're not letting anyone else pulverize our favorite whooping boy. Notice it's the Yancey Street Gang. And it grabs the Hulk and starts driving. And unfortunately, the thing ends up on there too. And it's heading to the Hudson River and goes into the water. So Ben is saying his lungs are stronger. He can go without air, but he's got to bust loose. So he uses a judo blow. And he escapes. And then he gets to the surface onto a motorboat. And Ben roars away. And Ben's saying, escape you? Are you kidding? I'm just trying to give you a chance to surrender before I annihilate you. So he escapes one lunge from the Hulk, and then he heads to the Washington Bridge, but then he appears out in the front and clobbers the boat. And Hulk says, come back, you sniveling coward. We'll finish this off right here. And Ben says, we'll finish it, but I'll pick the spot, and it won't be the water. And Hulk gets to leap, but that was Ben's idea, and he tosses some shards of the bridge. And they get back to battling, and thing is the Hulk is saying, say your prayers, Thing, it's a long way down. And Ben says, I ain't going anywhere. You're the one who's going to take the dive. And Ben's saying, I've been relaxing till now, saving my strength, but here's what I'm going to do with it. So he puts one last clobber to hit the Hulk into the catwalk. And he ties the Hulk up in a cable, saying this ought to be able to hold a 20-ton tank without any sweat. Hulk is saying, I'm the Hulk. Nothing can hold me. I'm going to snap this cable like a matchstick. And Ben is saying, I caught him out balance. He can't use his right leverage to use his muscles, but he's beginning to bend the cable. And Ben's getting tired, but wondering how the Hulk can do it. And the pressure, he's saying he's increasing the pressure. I'll have to let go. I'm aching all over, but how will I stop him once he gets loose again? He's getting stronger every minute. And then meanwhile, Sue comes back to the Baxter building and with the doctor, and he's trying to help Ben. The doctor says, you're in no condition to help anyone, Richards. Get him off his feet, Miss Storr. And Sue says, I'm so worried. Johnny was in the hospital, and you're terribly ill. Ben can't hold much longer against the Hulk, and I feel so helpless. The most powerful member of the foursome is helpless. Reed says, I know I must do something, but if only I could clear the head, stop the room from spinning. So Reed's trying to tough it out. Another terrain for Marvel. Here comes Daredevil, the man without fear. In the sensational Spider-Man tradition, Daredevil, the most daringly different superhero of all, as only the mighty Marvel Comics group could present him, destined to become the smash success of 64. See what the shouting's about. Get your copy today. Yay, Daredevil. Okay. So he says that he's got an unknown virus. He needs rest. The doctor said, don't work with these strange microbes. He's giving Reed a sedative to keep him calm. Sue is saying, keep him calm at a time like this when everything is going against us. Oh, Reed, my darling, I never realized how much I love you or need you. And Sue turns on the TV, and they're on the bridge, and then the Hulk breaks free. That's a cool picture of Sue. And Ben has to take a rest, and the Hulk breaks free. And then he starts raining blow after blow on Ben. But the Thing doesn't surrender. He doesn't heed the anguish of his nearly exhausted body. And he says he's going to find the Avengers. He's going to tear the city apart to find the Avengers. And there's Ben. Okay, the soldiers are getting their weapons. They're all wondering. They say the Thing, what can happen to the city now? Even the Thing couldn't stop them. Those small arms won't hold back the Hulk, and they can't use bigger weapons. No, not without blowing up the city. And he's saying, bring the Avengers to me before I tear this town apart. I want my revenge, and I want it now. Sue's watching, and Sue says, but the Avengers aren't here. They left New York. They went to the Southwest to look there for the Hulk. Reed is wondering what what's happening to Ben. And Ben is saying, he beat me. That big, brainless, muscle-bound creep beat me. It's never happened before. Maybe It's what I needed. I was beginning to think I was unbeatable. Boy, would I laugh. Well, as my dear old Aunt Petunia used to say, you only die once. And that's the only way he'll stop me now, by killing me. And to be continued next time. So that is where we have to stop. With a cliffhanger. I'm sorry, guys, but they do have these cliffhangers. Okay, let's see. What the? Okay, why isn't it? Huh. Let's see. So that was the end of issue 25, and it is a cliffhanger, and we will see that. Let's see. Okay. Agent Pepsi 1 says, yes, there's a Sonic here right next to the worst Burger King in the country and a good Whataburger in town. Nothing's better than a Sonic, except they don't have them close enough to me. Swift Minus 1 says, worst Burger King. Sonic. At least it's not the East River. I can just see their commercial. Have you tried our delightful Spewer Special Pizza Putt? And you see the outhouse door slam shut in the distance. The Burger King is absolutely terrible. It takes them forever to make things. Then you finally get your food. It tastes horrible. Pizza Putt. Not only a pizza restaurant, but your local laboratory for testing high-speed laxatives. Dipsy is pulling a trike. She's sitting here. I think she wants me to feed her. She's like 30 minutes early, though. Trike has given up for right now. All right. Pop Culture Breakdown is coming up. She's been trying to get my attention, but I've been ignoring her. Not that I don't want to feed her. I just don't want to get up. You relax. Next week, they will introduce a white Black Panther. It's true. Oh? Yeah. All right. So that is where we're going to stop for tonight. So guess what time it is? It is time for
show notes. It's time for show notes. Yeah, with Mr. Reagan and Sandra too. It's time for show notes. We're bringing it on. It's time for show notes. You've all been warned. It's time for show notes.
Here we go. Show notes. Okay. A week from tonight, we're going to have Jennifer McEnroth here to talk about the jewelry she creates. On the 18th, we have KR Companion to talk about all things Knight Rider. On the 25th of June, God, already talking about the end of June. Well, we just started June, sorry. But on the 25th, 3 weeks or 4 weeks from now, we're going to have the Not Ready for Part-Time Players doing another installment of Radio King Dolphin TV. Yeah. Da-da-da-da-da-da. On the Saturdays, we're going to have the usual Just Cuz, the usual madness, the usual maniacness. Okay. No, silence, King Dolphin TV. Do not talk about the end of June. That means that is closer to going back to work to be with the germ reactors. Okay, I won't. I promise. I'll be nice. This Sunday, we're going to have Corn Hub. And as Dalek said, he's probably not going to be there. I'm thinking about not being there, but I have to be. So, yes, the invasion of Corn Hub will be this Saturday. I also will be doing a book signing event on the 7th for a book signing event at the Martinsburg Comic-Con. Wish me luck, everybody. I have not been having much luck with book signing events, so please wish me luck. Let me get some sales in. So send some RFs this way. Okay. And let's see. Snort already put his thing out there. Let's see here. Before I do that, I got to pull it up. Okay. I'm getting Snort's picture. Okay. All right. Here we go. All right, okay, did I shut this down? Okay. King Dolphin TV. All right. Snorter Pooper says, take care, every human, dolphin, doggo, Dalet, ferret, eagle, hedgehog, and Chromodorus Willani sea slug. TM, a wholly owned subsidiary of the DolphinWars.com. And here is the Sleeve Slug. He's kind of cute for a sea slug. He's kind of cute for a sea slug. Take care, Agent Pepsi One. We love you too. And thank you. She wishes me luck and success. Yes, it's got to be better than last week. So, yes. Yes, and you feel better. One, please put an AP1 out there. put an AP1 out there to show our support for Agent Pepsi 1. All right. We love you too, Agent Pepsi 1. All right, there's the sea slug. Thank you, Snort. All right. Yes, burgers are good. Burgers are good. All right. And I haven't figured out a theme for July yet. I will. Okay. So, all right. So we're ready to wrap it up. Wrap it up. I'll take it. Wrap it up. I'll take it. Fabulous Thunderbirds. All right. So, let me thank everybody who came over here to the fantastic reviews. We had Pudgy Hedgehog, the Hedgehog Extraordinaire. Please go to Pudgy Hedgehog Adventures to hear some cool stories he's doing. Pudgy Saves Christmas Again. We have Swift -1. Thank you, my friend. Thank you for being here. All right. And then the Lifeguard Corps. We had our producer, Sandra. Trike has been very quiet this evening.
You had to doom us, didn't you?
What?
You had to doom us, didn't you?
We had Agent Pepsi 1. We had FKHC 2005. We had Lagadas Legion I. And we had the heck? What the heck?
What you do?
I can't bring up my camera. Okay, there it is. Snort Pupas! Q bar. Dot scream. Hashtag roar. And let's see. Clobber and snort. One more time. It's clobbering time. Great show. Great show. Snort. You are now the ever-loving, blue-eyed idol of millions of bears. Yeah. All right. See you guys Saturday. Let's have fun. Corn Hub. All right. Yes. R.I.P. Clobby. All right, so that is it. Everybody have a wonderful evening. And stay well. Oh, I forgot. Fez was here. Yes. Thank you for being here, Fez man. All right. I think we will wrap it up. You guys take it easy. I love you all. We will see you on Saturday. With a $2 super chat, FKHC wraps up the show with a boom. Thanks, Tim. Thank you for the super chat and for irradiating us all. Yep. All right. Night, everybody.